Hello once again. This is Brother Teacher, Grandmaster Stroud, Chief Grandmaster of the Genendo Martial Arts System. And this video, I'm going to say this, is not going to be in the liking of perhaps many. And the reason it's not going to be is because it cuts straight to a point. And I want to say this first. I try my best to lead by example in every aspect of my life, but in this particular instance I'm talking about martial arts. So, conditioning and health. Most people know that I have arthritis. It's true. I have arthritis in my hips, and it affects me greatly. However, I still train as often as I can, and I still teach. Yep. Almost 54 years in the martial arts now. True statement, true story. And with that, I am not overweight. I've almost been overweight at one point in my life, but I guaranteed myself, I made a promise to myself internally that I would never be 200 pounds, and I never have. I've been around 190, and once I got to that point, I said, no, teacher, it's not going to happen, and it never has. And what's disconcerting to me is to see not just black belts, but master ranks in the martial arts that are not just overweight, but they are obese, and they still wear the title master. I'm not going to be with you long. I'm going to try to cut right to the point. When all of us that started out in martial arts, at whatever age we started out, one thing that was emphasized was training, conditioning, health, staying in shape. For those of us that started back in late 60s, early 70s in the martial arts, health was a big thing, a big issue. Training was a big issue for that generation of martial artists. It's so disappointing now to see those guys, after they have gotten older, many of them, to be extremely and morbidly obese. Still masters, right? What happened to the standard? Why don't you lead? Why haven't you been leading by example? And this newer generation of martial artists, black belts and masters, from let's say 20 years ago up until the present, a lot of them are overweight, extremely overweight, and they so casually, confidently wear the rank and tout that I am master this and grandmaster this and that, and they are out of shape. That's not supposed to be that way. You have to lead by example, irrespective of any existing or pre-existing conditions such as what I have. And I still train and teach with arthritis, and it hurts, but I still do it within my boundaries. Still do. My students would tell you that. My contemporaries and my associates would tell you that. I am still extremely fast at 63. So, if you are 6 foot and under, around that height, and you are 300 pounds or more, something's wrong. Something's dead wrong. And if you're still around that same height that I just mentioned, and you are about 260, 240, 260, that's too much weight. Now, I know some people talk about being big boned and it runs in my family. Stop making those excuses. Enough of that. You wasn't born like that. No, you accumulated that fat, that weight over time by not continuing to exercise, not continuing to do cardio, and eating the proper diet, and burning off the fat. You have become complacent and comfortable. That's it. And that's all. So, here's the test. If you were teaching actively and you recruited some new students, what would you say to them about martial arts, walking in the door? Oh, we're going to teach you self-defense, and we're going to teach you self-confidence, and you're going to learn self-discipline, and you will learn techniques, and we may even do competitions and martial arts events and so on and so forth. Aren't you supposed to also be telling them about their health? Slow down on the junk food, or don't eat the junk food at all. You have to train in the dojo, or the dojang, or the kwon on a regular basis to keep your skill set where it's supposed to be. Agility, speed, timing, conditioning, endurance, if you will. How could they possibly do that when they look at you and you're out of shape? How could they possibly? I have students under me. Now, when I say students, I'm talking my black belt masters down the black belt all the way down to the white belt. I have students under me that are overweight. And I stay on them about losing weight and maintaining an average weight. People don't look at you with confidence when you say you are a black belt, when you say you are a master, and they see that you are extremely overweight. And what some people do have a tendency to do, those masters, those black belts, is they buy larger clothes instead of sticking to an average size for their appropriate body weight, body mass index, if you will, BMI, and getting down to that weight. Instead, they just buy something bigger to fit the accumulated weight. That's called no discipline, and that's called giving up and being comfortable or complacent again. I don't want to join me, hypothetically speaking. I've already been through this. But I don't want to join, or would not want to join, a martial arts school, and my instructor looks like they don't have very much long to live. Or they can't walk a brisk walk for 2 or 3 blocks without being out of breath, hyperventilating, looking like they have anxiety. Or they can't run a form from the beginning to the end without looking like they're about to have a heart attack. Something is wrong. Now, what I find very interesting as well is this. When I have these conversations online, on this platform and other platforms, there are haters out there who will attack me, who will scoff at what I'm saying because I'm telling the truth. And those people that are making those comments, when they do, I ignore it. But those people that's making those comments are the very ones that I'm talking about. If they're in the martial arts community, they are those same individuals that's overweight, extremely overweight or obese and out of shape, who have no desire to lose weight. They're just happy where they are. But they still want to learn additional techniques. They still want to have more information, more knowledge on the style and or system in which they are involved in. But they are not changing as human beings. They have become satisfied where they are. I don't like that. This goes for my students first, because they're under me. I have no problem. I'll make this perfectly clear. If I have a black belt, or if I have a master rank under me in my system, who becomes upset because they're not being promoted or they're not learning something additional, if they wanted to leave, if they want to leave, goodbye. You know what? This was not for you. You really don't want martial arts. You're really not passionate about martial arts in the true sense of the word or term. You're not passionate. If you ever had it, how would you lose it? I've been doing this since the age of 10, and I'm still saying the same things, still doing the same things, still teaching the same things, and haven't quit. So what's your excuse? Whoever you are, what's your excuse? Hopefully this will ignite some fire in you, but it's a shame that someone has to tell you about the basics, about the foundational, fundamental things that you should be doing in the first place. That's a shame. And if it sounds like I'm scolding you, yes, I am. And I don't care what you think. And I don't care who you are. I represent the thing. The question is, do you represent the thing that you say is your art or your system? Do you actually represent it? You have a mission statement? What does that statement say? I'm not going to be a good example to the people under me, my underlings, the Q ranks, the gut ranks in my system, the beginners, the novices. I'm not supposed to be a good example. No, they're supposed to look at you as a beacon of excellence, someone striving to be their best. And then those people that are observing you will strive to do the same. As is the leader, so are the people. They're going to mimic what they see you do. If your students see you smoking a cigarette, they're going to start smoking if they don't already smoke. And if they're already smokers when they walk in your door, you're going to encourage them that you're part of the group. That's not good. You're supposed to be encouraging them to be healthy. And you're supposed to be that example of health. They see you smoking a joint. If they walked in the door as one of those individuals that like to partake in those types of things, they feel like you have all things common now. You should not be supporting drugs at all as a master. I'm sorry. There are people who want to make all of these excuses and say, well, you know what? It's an herb. It's natural. I won't go into that right now. Anything that you put into your lungs, anything that you inhale by burning any kind of paper, it's carcinogenic. It causes cancer. You may not get it right away, but that's what it does. I worked in nursing. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Marijuana smoking, I don't care how much you think it is going to be medical reasons and so forth. There's other things naturally that you can do. It's called change your lifestyle. But marijuana smoking kills your brain cells, no matter how much you think it makes you smarter. No, it doesn't. It makes you a dummy. No wonder you're not advancing. So, I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry. But I'm going to leave you now, hopefully with something to think about in this particular segment. Lead by example. Lose weight and stop making excuses why you won't lose weight, and stop not coming to classes because you are ashamed that somebody's going to look at you as an overweight black belt or master. Do what you're supposed to be doing if you really love what you say you're all about. That was it. And that was all.